Why do babies grasp your finger when you touch their hands? Or how do birds migrate without being taught? What if the answers lie within us, coded into our very own DNA? Today, we're going into instinct theory, which is now replaced by the evolutionary perspective. It focuses on genetically predisposed behaviors. It views our instincts as a source of our motivations. Motivation is something you are born with. It is not external items that provide motivation to an individual. Rather, it is an individual's instincts, behaviors, and traits that they were born with. An instinct is a complex behavior that must have a fixed pattern through a species and is unlearned. An example of this unlearned instinct in animals is imprinting, when all baby ducks follow mama duck. A real-world example is that human behavior for infants to root for a nipple and such exhibits unlearned fixed patterns, which is an instinct. The rooting reflex, which is the suckling reflex when babies start sucking when a finger or nipple places pressure on the top of their mouth. The moral reflex is also a reaction seen in babies under 6 months of age. Essentially, they jump when startled. The Backian reflex is when babies open their mouths and bend their arms in response to rubbing the palm of their hands. But these instincts also follow us into adulthood, like coughing, gagging, sneezing, and yawning. Infants exhibit these instinctive reactions when confronted by catalysts in their environment. For example, grazing an infant's cheek will cause the child to turn their head and search for a nipple. The instinct theory of motivation suggests that our drive to act in a specific way is rooted in our biological makeup. More specifically, we engage in these certain behaviors because they aid in our physical survival. Birds that migrate are a primary example. Research indicates that engaging in migration before weather turns cold improves the bird's chances of survival, so they're motivated or driven to head towards warmer climates in the winter because it increases their likelihood of making it through the colder months. Our biological instincts influence us. Just like animals are governed by their intuition to do things such as create nests, mate, and defend territory, early researchers suggest that certain instincts may also control human beings. This is my sister. She has a younger sibling. If she notices that I'm in a potentially dangerous situation, like this one, such as being bullied or facing some difficulty, you might feel a strong instinct to protect and care for me. This protective behavior can be considered an instinctual response, as it is unlearned and a natural tendency to ensure the well-being of family members. But if all human actions were determined by instincts alone, then the same behavior should result from the same set of circumstances every time. For instance, I work in a pie shop, and when I'm hungry and I see food, I will always consume that food. But that's not the case for my coworker, Monty, as many people resist eating some foods, even when they're hungry. Another critique is that instincts cannot be readily observed or scientifically tested, and not all behaviors can be explained by instincts. Labeling something as an instinct does nothing to explain why certain behaviors appear in some instances, but not in others.